fixing up a couple of more fairy houses for my fairy garden. Hi, it's Sharon from Sherry's Fairies, and it's Fairy Garden Thursday, and I'm still working on my outside garden, and I'm going to fix up a couple more fairy houses to put in that garden. And I'd like to thank Grandma Sandy, who hosts this collaboration, and I'm one of her co-hostesses. Thanks, Grandma. So let's get on and get these two houses ready for the garden. In this section here, I am gluing on the bark that goes around the slab of wood that I make my gardens on, or my houses on. It always falls off, so I'm hoping this time they'll glue and stay. Having little trouble getting these to stick. Sometimes they're like a layer, like an onion, and have layers. So you have to peel that layer off and then put the glue on and then stick it on. If you stick it to the layer just peels back off. Anyhow, hopefully that made sense. Well, I'm letting that stuff dry, and I'm going to pull out this other fairy garden that I have had in my outdoor fairy gardens before, and it has bark around it that I need to glue back on, and this is more like a birch bark, and I really think it's pretty. And this fairy garden has glow-in-the-dark rocks all around it, so we'll just hold this and let it get glued on. This fairy garden had a door made out of bark, and as it got wet and weathered and stuff, the door started to curl up. So I'm changing this door and going to make another door, and I'm going to use large tongue depressor sticks to make this one. Both of these fairy gardens are made with clay pots. I did do videos on them, so if you look back in my videos, you should be able to find them. And one I cut up burlap cloth and glued little pieces all over, and the other one I wrapped a twine all around it to make the little house. Here I'm just re-sticking down these little blocks of wood with bark on top. I just thought they looked cute like that, and I thought they added something to the fairy garden the first time I made it. So I'm just gluing them back on so that they're there. And I'm playing around trying to figure out what else to do with the door. Well, I decided that this little fairy needed a bicycle. So I'm going to glue on this little white bicycle that I had in my stash, so this fairy can have a bicycle to ride and go see her friends. Now I'm going to give this little fairy garden some greenery up and down the sidewalk, just so it has a little more added to it and it looks a little brighter. And I'm just using some faux greenery that I'm cutting up and making the pieces smaller. Well, I found a piece of wooden decoration and it looks like a little seashell. And I decided to just put it right on the door to make the door topper and finish the door off. Well, that fairy house and little garden is all fixed up and ready to go in the big garden. So I'm going to set it out of the way and bring the other one in, and we're going to fix it up and make it look a little cleaner and more stuff. Oh, I noticed the pot was kind of jiggling, so I decided I better just get some glue under there and get it glued down good. There we go, that's done. I got out some greenery, and it looks like succulent plants, and I decided I would plant that around the fairy garden, and it would just look like little trees. What I'm using here, these are cocktail toothpicks, and they just have little red glass beads on them, and I thought they just looked fun sticking out of the roof of this fairy garden with all the straw sticking out of it. Gives it a nice little pop of color. This is a little wagon, a little red wagon, and it's full of something they can put in their fire, I believe. It kind of looks like coal or something. Anyhow, I just thought it would look cute with this fairy house. And I'm just adding a log just because it gives more dimension to the fairy garden, gives more interest to look at it. So I believe this fairy garden is done too. Our fairy garden house is done too, and there's the other one sitting on the fence.